In this video, we're going to be showing y'all the best run stop defense in Madden 25 using the 3-4 odd. I am in the 3-4 playbook because it has my three primary defensive formations, which is going to be the 3-4 odd, it's going to be the 3-3 stack, and it's also going to be the dime 2-3 Sam. Those are my go-to. That's really all I use in Madden 25. But first, we're going to go ahead and just talk about stopping the run using the 3-4 odd. And the play is going to be either cover 4 drop or cover 4 quarters, whichever one you prefer. But the easiest one is to go ahead and just use the cover 4 drop. Now, let's talk about the coaching adjustments real quick. Go ahead and turn this off. Go ahead and put this on base, and then go ahead and put option defense on conservative. Everything else is kind of up to you. I don't really mess with the zone drops. If it's a short yardage situation, I just play hard flats. If it's just, a 1st and 10 or something like that, I just leave it as default. So the zone drops are going to really be up to you and who you're going against. So let's go ahead and jump into the practice field and show y'all how we shut down the run. All right, so we're going to be going against a few of the popular run formations to give you an idea of more or less what to do, and you can kind of go from there with similar formations to that. And we're going to be talking about the strong side, the weak side, and what's important when it comes to stopping the run. And there's two things. One is a numbers game, and two is setting the edge. So right here, we have a strong side to the right. You have a wide receiver and a tight end to the right, and on the left, you have a solo wide receiver with an I formation. So that's going to give the strong side to the right side. So what you do with your D-line is you're going to shift them to the weak side. You're going to go ahead and spread your linebackers, and then you're going to pinch you're going to press your DBs. And then the safety on the weak side is the guy that you're going to user, or just put them in the middle of the field. If you're not good at using the safety, user the weak side linebacker on the hook curl. But try to get used to using the safety. This will help your run game just so much more. So this would be your basic setup right here. And then if you can, go ahead and hard flat, because usually if it's an I formation, pistol, single back, they're most likely, if they do pass play action, they're going to attack the flats. So make sure you hard flat. So that will be your basic setup right here. If they give you time, move this safety down a little bit more. You don't have to. It's not going to make or break the play, but it can help the play. So let's go ahead and let them run the play. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing again, break it down and explain a couple of more things. But this is what it looks like against an I formation like this. We got to set the edge, got to make them cut back. You want to make them cut back if they're on a stretch. That's the most important thing. Okay, so let's set it up again. Just to show you, it does not take long to set up. That's all the adjustments right there. Now, I want to explain something. You see my user in the middle. And to the left of them, we have four guys. We have our linebacker on a hook curl, we have our linebacker on a hard flat, and we have our two defensive linemen on the line. There's four guys. On the right side, same thing. We got four guys. Our defensive end, our hook curl, our hard flat, and our safety on the deep blue zone. So we are making sure we are going to fill every gap that we possibly can, and whatever gap doesn't get filled up is 100% the user responsibility. And the second thing is setting the edge. So on the left side, you have a left tackle. On the right side, you have a tight end. You do not want them to be outside of your guy. You can see we got a guy right here outside and a guy right here outside of the left tackle. And then on the right side, we have this guy outside of the tight end. And we got these two guys, the linebacker and safety, that can shoot gaps. Those are the two most important things. It's a number game and setting the edge, making them cut it back in. And then we'll talk about inside runs as well. But this will also stop an inside run. But that is a huge part of the user game. You got to know when to shoot gaps. Again, if you're not comfortable using the safety, you're going to use the weak side curl hook, but try to get comfortable with the safety. I'm not going to lie, even sometimes I get passed on because I bite on a run and they just run a streak with their slot receiver and they just bomb me over the top. But again, let's go ahead and see how this does against the run. Again, we're going against one of the best running backs. But there we go, setting the edge, not allowing them to get to outside. That's the most important thing. So that's what it looks like against an I formation with a strong side. Let's jump into a couple of different formations. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about heavy set formations like this, where you can't really have somebody outside of their most outside guy. But I'm going to show you what to do. So if you run into this formation, because honestly, this is probably the best run formation in Madden 25 right now, you're going to go ahead and pinch your D-line, blitz them to the inside, spread your linebackers, and press your DBs. Now, we technically do have somebody outside of their tight end, which is going to be my cornerback. So we have somebody out there. If it's a stretch, hopefully your cornerback can actually play the stretch. But if not, we still have this guy, and this guy to take away the blocks of the three tight ends, and then I'm going to come around and make the tackle myself or shoot the gap to the inside. Now, another thing I want to talk about, when they have a solo receiver outside the numbers, and if it's a speed mismatch where they're going to be able to be faster than your cornerback, back this guy up. Do not leave him on the line. Now, normally in game, you can actually do individual adjustments and back him up. I don't know why in practice it's not letting me do it right now, but 100% if there's a speed mismatch, back that guy off. And the side where there is no wide receiver, leave that cornerback low. Let's go ahead and let them run a play and see what happens right here. So middle end. So that's my gap 100%. But look what happened. Exactly what I told y'all. Let's jump into the replay. This is exactly what I mean right here. Look at where the 3 tight ends go to block. They go to block my 2 linebackers and my safety. And then where do I have to shoot? The gap. And then look at my cornerback. If it's a stretch, this is exactly what we're talking about, a numbers game and meeting them to where we have all our players to fill up gaps and I can just shoot gaps. And then if he cuts it back, we got 2 guys on the right side. But this is a perfect example of what I was just explaining before we ran the play. The 3 tight ends are going to go to our 3 guys. We shoot the gap. We make the tackle. If he tries to cut it out, we do have a cornerback over there. If he tries to cut it back, we got some guys over there. It's all about a numbers game and setting your guys up to put them in the best position possible. All right, now we're going to go ahead and talk about when it's an even set. So there's no strong side. There's no weak side. There's a couple of different things you can do. One, you can pinch the D-line and you can spread the linebackers and you can just go ahead and press the DBs. And you can leave it like this, and I would user the safety, one of the safeties, doesn't matter which one. Again, we don't know exactly which direction they're going to be running, so it really doesn't matter. This is an even set where we're matching them even for even, but I still like to play the middle of the field so I can shoot either way, left or to the right, with no negatives to it. So I'm still going to do the same thing. I'm going to user one of the safeties, and whichever safety I user, I'm going to shift my D-line to that direction. So it'll look like this. Again, it's a numbers game. I'm in the middle, but I got 4 guys to my right. I got 4 guys to my left. We got somebody outside, their most outside guy on the O-line, which is going to be their 2 tight ends. Right here, we got an outside linebacker. Right here, we got an outside linebacker. And on top of that, we got our cornerbacks to the most outside if they do run some type of stretch. So we're going to go ahead and let them run the play. And we're going to, hold on, I did not mean to do that. Let me go ahead and put them back on the quarterback contain, because I don't know which way they're running. And I don't want y'all thinking that I'm just trying to set my defense up to get the best results. Normally, honestly, what I would do is I'll blitz to the inside. So let's just do that. Again, I don't know if they're running inside or outside. I forgot which play we picked. But let's go ahead and let them run in and see what happens right here. It's a stretch. Now we got 2 guys right there. And look, we set the edge. Nowhere for him to really run. They did have a lead block, but he had to make a decision. Let's go ahead and jump into the replay. I could have did better with my user right there. But you can see right here, we have our linebacker. 65 is going to have to make a choice. Do I block the linebacker or the safety? But the most important thing, again, we're setting the edge. 48 has to go far out there, about 3 yards from where he was, to make a block. That's the most important thing. So I know I'm kind of taking my time just in case McCaffrey cuts back. And then if I see that he goes all the way out, then I'm going to continue to go all the way out with them. But you see how I dove to try to take away that comeback. So he has to go to the outside. Now, he could have possibly still got this, but my linebacker did a decent job to get into him and making the tackle. But again, I'm going to keep repeating it. The most important things are going to, a numbers game and setting the edge. Those are always going to be the most important thing. All right, we're going to go ahead and go over one more formation. All right, we're going to go ahead and go over one more formation. All right, we're going to go ahead and go over one more formation, which is going to be a pistol formation, just to give you, a couple of different looks. Again, we got a weak side, so I'm going to use the weak side safety, shift my D-line towards that side, spread the linebackers, and pinch or press my DBs. Again, you have to watch Brandon Ayuk. If he goes on a streak, that's your responsibility. We have Jackson right here if Debo goes on a streak. This is a real popular run play right here. So this is going to be an inside zone run, and it's one of the best runs in the game. Let's see how this defense actually compares to it. I'm going to have to shoot that gap and play it. Obviously, I kind of have an upper hand because I know where it's going, but I just want to show you how everything plays out. Let's go ahead and jump into the replay real quick. It's you're going to hear me keep saying this over and over again. The numbers, like, I'm purposely making sure I got 4 guys that could either shoot a gap or get blocked. That means that's one less person that could block me. And that allows me to shoot a gap. And what happens right here, look, 85 goes to my linebacker. The fullback tries to get out. I don't know what he's doing, but our outside linebacker takes away their right tackle. And I got 2 free guys to shoot gaps. And if he tries to cut back, we got guys right there. Nowhere for him to go at all. And this is one of the best run plays right here. And this is just basic, setting up your defense, number game, setting the edge. That's all there really is to it.